Time to dive into the final DLC for Pokemon Sword. The Crown Tundra is home to many legendary Pokemon and much more. Hope you enjoy this video and have a great day. Time to head back into the Tundra, the Crown Icy Tundra. My name is Brian Saviano, BricksOBrian, hello. I'm not in control of the game because I am post-commentating this episode because I did a lot of things and it took quite a long time and I needed a little bit of help from my friend Alex to get Reggialeckie and do a couple of other things as well. So this video is basically a bunch of different things that I've done in one video to show off to you, so that way you get a better idea of what exactly you need to do and really give you a good idea of how long all of this actually takes to do. So I recorded about 40 minutes or so worth of usable footage for you to look at, and that's of like usable footage, but I recorded for 2.5 hours. So a lot of this DLC is like just grinding away, just getting stuff and whatnot. Pretty sure this is a fake Chinese knockoff Reggialeckie engineered in some hack, but whatever. It's fine. This is Reggialeckie here. This Pokemon said to do something. I didn't pause enough to actually look at the description. Whoops. But yes, that's Reggialeckie. And so I wanted Reggialeckie only to show you and to not only do that, but also take all of the different Reggie, put them in my party, and you go to a particular den that I'm going to show you in just a hot second here, and you actually face off against Reggialeckie, and it went a little bit wonky, kind of, a little bit. So when you're going into Reggialeckie, as I'm doing all this here and explaining all this to you, you're going to want to use fighting-type moves against him. Now, with Pepperono, I actually taught Pepperono a move, I think it's called low kick, where instead of using just a typical fighting type move, he had double kick before. This move is more powerful the heavier the opponent is. So every Pokemon obviously has a weight. So, Metagross is heavier than Pepperono. Wailord is going to be heavier than Nidoran and whatnot. Reggialeckie is 926 pounds in the Pokemon universe, which means he's got to get that Planet Fitness black card and get working on his physique just like me. And it actually took only a couple of hits to get him finished off here. But the thing is, something happened with Pepperono that I don't even register. I didn't register what happened when it first happened in the game, so I actually have to watch this back and see it. But something odd happened, so I'll go through that. But the Reggialeckie battle is a solo raid battle. So you go to this particular spot right here, and you put a wishing piece into the den, or it's a faint glow, right? No, it's just a faint glow. Okay, so you do that. I guess you don't need a wishing piece, but you just go up to that particular den, and there's a glow, and then would you look at that? It's the biggest boy. Reggialeckie. Reggialeckie is a hefty monster of a Pokemon, but Pepperono knowing low kick is the perfect combination here, especially with Dynamaxing as well as Reggiegigas' slow start. So I believe slow start allows it to not necessarily do what it needs to do right from the get-go. It takes a couple of turns to warm up here. So what ended up happening with Pepperono, I told you there was something weird that happened. So Pepperono goes into the Dynamax here, which is fine. I never ended up getting the Dynamax Crystal form to give Score Bunny here. What's the final form? What's the Cinderace? Cinderace, of course. Cinderace's final form with the specific Dynamax form. I didn't end up doing that still. I should probably do that, but it's a thing. And so, that's a good amount of damage done to Reggialeckie right out the gate there. That's like a fifth of the health. So if you just spam Max Knuckle while you're in a Dynamax form here, it's going to take care of him nice and easy. And that obviously does a lot more than a fifth of the damage, as you can see right there. Super duper uber effective. And so you get 3 turns in the Dynamax, and he's not doing much damage at all, right? By comparison, This guy is just like, nah, not even a little bit. So Alex couldn't help me with this one. It's a solo raid and whatnot. He's all the way down to 1 HP. 1. Which is not, I don't think it's an ability he has. Actually, it might be. Because he might have that ability where, oh, you know, you attack him. If it were to KO, it goes down to 1 HP. So something weird happens here. Okay, so dozing off, it must be sleepy. I do Pyro Ball, I do low kick for the sake of it, right? And it says, it seems like it can't use its move. I don't know what that move is. Low kick, super effective. It seems like it can't use this move. What does that even mean? What does that mean? It seems like it can't use this move. I don't know why. It literally shook its head and was like, nope. Why? Why did that happen? I have no idea. So, I don't know. I thought it might have been because I haven't gone to Pokemon Camp with Pepperono relatively recently, and he was like acting out in defiance, which I'm like, all right, that's weird. But I ended up doing that afterward, and I don't know, I don't think that has anything to do with it, but it was just the weirdest thing. I was recording this. I was in a call with Alex because he was like helping me with all this stuff, which is why I'm doing a post-play commentary here. And I was like, what just happened? He's like, I don't know. That shouldn't happen. That doesn't happen. So I have no idea. But whatever. All good there. So Reggialeckie was caught. He is a 100% catch rate. You can use any Pokeball you want to. Doesn't matter. Use a Beast Ball, Master Ball. Don't use a Master Ball. That's dumb. Premier Ball, Pokeball, whatever you want to do. And for some reason, it did not trigger the Pokedex entry there. I don't know why. So there's that too. What I also did with Alex was I traded over Spectre so that way I could get the Pokedex entry. Not that I particularly care about that, but, you know, I figure just to show it to you all while it's over here. So you get to see what Spectre looks like and the Pokedex entry for that. I think I saved, or I actually, like, stopped myself and, like, read the description. Hopefully I'll be able to. And then what really gets interesting here is the next section I have here, because Alex is not a professional Pokemon player, but he knows what he's talking about. He's been playing this series for a very long time. He and my friend Matthew were always the one to educate me on what Pokemon I should use against what other Pokemon, all the legendaries, the catch rates, the shiny rates, the blah, 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 and the blah, 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 right? They know all of this stuff. And so I go to them as they are the Pokemon experts here. But here's Spectre. It probes its surroundings with all senses and saves one. It doesn't use its sense of sight. Spectre's kicks are lethal. So basically, if this thing kicks you, you are very dead. Very, very dead. But I traded the Raichu over, and it's all said and done there. So I go to them for all sorts of help, and what has been giving me trouble off camera has been a battle against Groudon, specifically. Groudon is a very bulky Pokemon. Very problematic in a lot of ways. Not a lot not a lot you can do depending on what Pokemon you receive in the initial initiation of the raid. And so this is where a lot of the time also took when doing all of this recording and whatnot. So all this took like almost 2 hours, 2.5 hours, whatever it was. I am only showing you the final battle against Groudon here, and none of the other battles because they don't matter. You get to see what Pokemon we have at the very end of the battle, and you know, work with what you got here. So Hawlucha is a good one to go in with, okay? Because Hawlucha, his ability allows for ground moves to be ineffective. So he's basically floating in the air because he's a bird, obviously. So that works out pretty well, even though my attacks aren't necessarily that good. You know, it is what it is. And so I'm playing with Alex. Alex is the gold and purple-haired character. He has the Kingler, which is super effective against... Well, the Kingler can do super effective move against the Kingler. Against Groudon. I'm sorry. brain is jumbled because it always is. But he does moves against Groudon, and they're super effective, and it works out just fine. And this battle goes a certain kind of way. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say, man. But I'm going to show you the battle in its entirety here so you can get a grip on what is actually happening here. Charmeleon has an ability called Solar Power, which increases fire-type abilities, but he also takes damage in the sunlight, which I think is really stupid as a move because he's literally losing health and whatever. If you do these battles, you should have 3 other friends with you. So having just one friend is fine, and usually the computers have a decent idea of what to do a lot of the time, but sometimes they just make dumb moves, you know, and they don't quite know what they're doing. When you're making decisions on, you know, Pokemon to potentially take along your Dynamax adventure and whatnot, humans do get priority. So let's say you as a human and a computer are like, oh, do I switch out the Pokemon here? Do I not? It'll prioritize to you. And if you two vote to go one way and the computer vote the other two, they go the other way, then they're going to have it go in your favor the entire time. So don't worry about that. In these battles, also important to probably get some sort of status effect if you can. So I have a Poison on Groudon here. Groudon, I don't believe, can get burned. He might be able to, but keep in mind when you have a status effect, there's almost no chance for, well, there is a chance the Pokemon can heal itself of the status effect. I don't think it can. So it can change back all the status changing moves, but I don't think it can heal itself of poison and all that. So you know how, like, you know, special defense goes down, special attack goes up, blah, 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 blah. Groudon can, like, revert all that, but he can't heal himself of poison, I don't think. So that doesn't do much damage. And you're like, Brian, you're clearly going to lose this fight, right? Well, just keep watching. So that happened. Charmeleon decided, you know what? I'm going to use this move and inflict a ton of damage on this guy right now. So that happened, and me and Alex were freaking out. We were like, are you kidding me? Now you're using this move? Now you're using Inferno? That you've had this the entire time, and you're just like, you know what? This is the time? Okay. All right. If you say so, computer person, computer player, whatever. And he's taking more fire hits as well. Or rather, he's taking damage from the sun to increase his fire output there. So at this rate, I'm like, all right, we could get this thing taken care of in one more turn if that Charmeleon does the Flamethrower Inferno move, right? So Groudon's desperate attacks are getting there. I do Max Darkness, and it's like, you know what? Not that much. Really, not at all. Poison probably does the same, if not a little bit more damage than that, right? Special defense falling there. Inferno. So here you go. Groudon's a little, he's not a happy camper at all. There's 1 health left. We lost 1 life before. Every single one of the Pokemon besides me eats dirt. And we all die. And we lose the entire battle. He had 1 hit left. If anybody was slightly faster than Groudon, we would have been fine. But because of that, no, it's just totally done. And that's it. So Groudon's done. But skipping ahead to... Well, Groudon's not done. Groudon was very much so a pain. We had to redo the entire thing, but now this is a second battle where, you know, he has a Precipity Blades, whatever it is. Much better standing here. Haunter is what Alex has. I have Blaziken. The critical hit to Haunter, not so stellar. That's actually pretty remarkably awful. And the Storm is growing ever so slightly stronger. But because Blaziken is so wicked fast, it just so happens to work out that I get ahead of Groudon, get the victory, and get on out of here with the Fire Pledge. 1 little hit, that's all it takes. And Groudon, not a Not a Pokemon I need, because I have Omega Ruby. I have a Groudon in my PC box, or rather Pokemon Home. I don't need this Pokemon, but because I lost to it 4 times, I needed to capture it, and I knew me and Alex could do it. If we had more human players, it would work even more seamlessly, but, you know, that's what happens. So there's this episode here. It's a lot of highlights of what unfolded, and so there's going to be one more episode of the Crown Tundra where I'm not only going to talk about my final thoughts on the game, but also show you what more of these legendary battles are like, and tell you some other Pokemon that are available that I haven't caught yet because they take a while. Not really too important to me, but I also want to tell you about them so that way you know that they exist in the game. My name has been Brian Saviano, BricksOBrian. I'll see you again for more Pokemon Crown Tundra hotness in the very near future, all right? Bye.